Alright, I'm sick and tired of this, and it's time to settle this debate. All I've seen on the internet the last couple days are MGK is shit, Eminem is shit, MGK ruined Eminem's career, Eminem ruined MGK's career, both songs are shit, all this other stuff. I think it's time to set aside all the arguments here, and let's just look at the facts, okay? Let's look at everything with these two diss tracks, and let's see who actually won. Let's analyze everything from a rapper's perspective, from a hip-hop artist's perspective, and let's see who won this battle. So in order to answer this question, we're gonna go through both songs, and we're gonna look at a couple different categories and compare them, and this is how we're going to decide whose song was better and who ultimately wins this whole beef that's going on right now. So there's a couple sections that we'll narrow it down to. The first one is the time spent dissing each other. The second section is the number of disses that they throw at each other. The third part will be the quality of those disses that they have. And then the final part we're going to look at is the technical skill of it. So we're going to look at the rhyme schemes, what type of rhymes they use, and things like that. So I feel like this is the most fair option and like non-biased option that I could do possible, because it's no secret I like Eminem's song way more than I like Machine Gun Kelly's song. But this entire video, I'm gonna try to keep it neutral. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into analyzing these two songs. Okay, so if you look at Rap Devil, you can see that it is 4 minutes and 48 seconds long. And then you switch on over to Eminem's Kill Shot, and it's 4 minutes and 14 seconds long. So when I say time spent dissing, I don't mean the full length of the song. I mean the actual time that they spent throwing jabs at the other person specifically. So this means we're gonna take out all of the filler disses, which means the really generic stuff that you could kind of take out of the track and put it into another one and it would make sense, all the hollowed out disses. And we're also going to take out any line that repeats itself. So if there's a chorus, we'll count the first chorus, but then if there's any more repeating after that, we need to take it out because it's just saying the same thing over and over again, and it shouldn't count towards the actual time spent dissing. So in order to really narrow this down, I've gone through both diss tracks and I've highlighted each diss that they threw at the other person, and if it doesn't have any highlights around it, it means that it wasn't an actual diss, or it was something that was really generic and, you know, could have been in a different song. So here, as you guys can see right here on the screen, we have a Rap Devil, and this is, like I said, all these highlights are each individual diss, and I put them at different colors so I can kind of differentiate them from the other ones. The numbers at the bottom, I'll get to that in just a little bit, but as you guys can see, he has quite a number of disses throughout this thing, and he also has quite a number of filler stuff inside of this song. You can see all these that don't have anything behind them. Again, these are just like the little filler things, and you can see some big chunks of it, and he's got the chorus that repeats a couple times. So Machine Gun Kelly has quite a bit that doesn't actually need to be in the song to count towards this diss. So when you put a timestamp of all the stuff that shouldn't be in the song and take it away from the overall length, there's almost 118 seconds of song, of lyrics in this that don't actually pertain to Eminem, or they are just really hollowed out and generic. So if you take that 118 seconds off of the original length, which was 4 minutes and 48 seconds, you get 2 minutes and 50 seconds exactly of diss time. And now we're going to switch it on over to Eminem's Kill Shot. It's pretty much the exact same format. Everything that's highlighted is a different diss. If there's nothing around it, it's a diss that didn't really contain any meaning to the song, or it was pretty, you know, generic. It shouldn't have been in the song or something like that. And as you can see, Eminem does have quite a bit of generic stuff as well, which honestly surprised me when I first listened to the song. He's got a big part right here. It's just stuff that, you know, really shouldn't be in this specific diss towards Machine Gun Kelly. So again, when you put a timestamp to everything and you take away all this generic stuff, you end up with 23 seconds of stuff that really should not be in the song. You take away those 23 seconds from the original length of the song, which is 4 minutes and 13 seconds, you get exactly 3 minutes and 50 seconds of diss time straight at Machine Gun Kelly. So when you compare the two, Eminem actually has a full minute more of dissing towards Machine Gun Kelly, even though Rap Devil is a longer song than Kill Shot. So this next section that we can look at is the disses themselves. We're going to look at the number of disses. This can be any diss whatsoever that is made, and then we're also going to look at the quality of the disses. So we're going to use the same sheet that I made from earlier. Everything that is highlighted is a different diss, so if you see different colors, it's just added onto the list, and all the numbers below it are actually ratings on a scale from 1 to 10, and these ratings are based on a pretty much general consensus. I tried to look at all the comments, or the majority of the comments on both rap song videos. I've also looked at the comments on my videos where I'm kind of breaking down the lyrics of everybody, and I'm kind of, you know, I'm trying to see what people liked, what people didn't like, what I personally liked. These aren't strictly from my head. Again, I tried to take everybody's opinion into consideration with all this, and you guys can see me scrolling through in the background of what I rated these disses, and feel free to stop the video anytime that you guys want to. I might even put a still image after I've done this, but this is what I rated all these out of 10, okay? And like I said, there were some that I probably personally would have given a higher rating, and there's some that I probably would have given a lower rating, but I try to be pretty fair and use everybody's opinion on this. So when you tally up the actual disses towards Machine Gun Kelly and Kill Shot, you end up with around 42 disses. Again, this is a loose number. Some people might think a diss is one thing, some people might not, but we're gonna go with the number 40 42. Okay, there's 42 different disses. And with each diss, they had a possible 10 points that they could get. I rated everything on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. So if a bar was perfect, it got a 10 out of 10. If a bar was really shitty, it got a 1 out of 10. After rating all the disses that Eminem shot at MGK, I ended up coming out with a point system of 296 points out of a possible 420 points, giving Eminem roughly a 7.04 out of 10 win ratio. So we got a 7 out of 10 rank-wise if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. That's what it came up with. And with that being in mind, we're going to go on into Rap Devil right here. We're going to do the exact same thing. Each different highlighted section is a different diss. Again, you guys can kind of check everything in the background. You might agree with some of these ratings. You might not agree with them. I certainly don't agree with all of them. But again, try to get a general consensus from everyone and be as fair as possible and non-biased, because I really wanted to break this down and see, who actually won this and what people were thinking. But you can see he does have quite a few that were rated higher than I anticipated, and he's got a couple that might have been rated a little bit lower than I anticipated. But for the general part, I feel like I was pretty fair, and I might have favored MGK point system wise on this. I feel like I gave his bars a little bit higher rating than they should have gotten. The only bar that I was not budging on was this "beard is weird" line. I've had a ton of people tell me this is from Eminem's song Business, where the line was "till we grow beards and get weird" or something like that. And everyone's saying Machine Gun Kelly used this. This is one of the smartest lines in the song. And to that, I say no, absolutely not. Every other time he used an Eminem song in this song, and to use it as a play on words, he used the exact lyrics or he used the exact title of the song and flipped it on its head. And even if he did use the song from Business, this is a really shitty way of explaining it and using it, and it's not even used in the same context. If he was really trying to use it from Business, he might have said something like, "Hey, it's time to handle my business. This fucker's got a weird beard," or something like that. You know what I mean? I can think of so many different ways that he could have capitalized on that, and I know for a fact that this man did not use this line referring to Business. I'm sure if you asked him now, he said he did, because so many people have put this up on Lyrics Genius, and so many people probably filled his head with this that he's like, fuck it, yeah, that's what I meant to do. But I'm telling you right now, if you compare it to all the other disses that he had, it doesn't line up with it, okay? He doesn't use it the exact same way, which is why I don't believe this was one of those subliminal lines. So when you count up all the disses, he actually has more disses than Eminem. He has 45 disses, and if you average all of them out on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, he has 246 points out of a possible 450 points, giving him roughly a 5.5 out of 10. And based on the quality and the actual numbers of the statistics that we had right there, Eminem's song is a full 1.5 better, and this isn't just from me, this is from you guys too. Now this last section right here, this is the tip of the iceberg, okay? This is what will sink the ship and decide who is who. This is where I become a huge nerd, okay? I love lyricism, I love the technical skill behind everything, and what we are going to look at is the rhyme schemes. So I didn't label out the entire song, I only used the first minute and 5 seconds of each song. It seemed like it was a decent place to stop on both of them. And as you guys can see right here, there are certain words that are highlighted, some of them are half a word, they're all a bunch of different colors. So basically any word that you see that has a color that matches with another word with the same color, it means they rhyme. So he does have multiple different rhyme schemes going throughout his verse, which is definitely a very good tactic to use, and it makes the song sound pretty good. The only issue is that there's not a single compound or a multi-syllable rhyme. So what I mean by that is the first part of the word will rhyme with something, and the second part of the word will rhyme with something else. And as you can see, he doesn't have any of those throughout the entire thing. So if you go through and count it, he's got about 10 different rhyme schemes that he uses in this first part, which sounds really good, especially when you compare that number to 6ix9ine, who only uses 5 different rhyme schemes. But we're not even going to get to Eminem's part yet. We're going to look at a song that I made, which is actually my diss on Machine Gun Kelly. So this is the first little part of my song, and as you guys can see, I have considerably more rhyme schemes, and I rhyme way more words, and I have multi-syllable rhymes. And if you go through and count this, I have roughly 17 or 18 different rhyme schemes. It just kind of depends on how you pronounce the word. So again, we had 6ix9ine, who had 5, we had Machine Gun Kelly, who had 10, and then I had 17. But then you get into Eminem's verse, and again, this is what just absolutely destroys everything. This right here is Eminem's rhyme scheme in the first minute and 5 seconds. So here's the two side by side, okay? Like I said, it's the first minute and 5 seconds. There is noticeably more color and far more different varieties of color on Eminem's diss right here on the left side than Machine Gun Kelly's on the right side. Eminem actually had so many different rhyme schemes that ran out of colors, and I had to reuse some of the same colors. I think I stopped counting at 30, but he has multiple different rhyme schemes, and he has a multiple different compound rhymes and inner rhymes. And this little technique right here is actually what made the song Lose Yourself blow up, because he has these so many different words that rhyme, and he doesn't sacrifice the content of the song to make it happen. There are still tons of disses in this one little section that makes sense to the song. There's even a ton of subliminal disses and triple meaning disses, along with triple syllable rhyme schemes, compound rhyme schemes, inner rhymes, all sorts of technical things that make a rap song amazing. And just to give you an idea behind the numbers of this, okay, in the first 1 minute and 5 seconds, Machine Gun Kelly used 157 words. 48 of those words rhymed, giving him a 30.5%, meaning that just over 30% of the words that he used actually rhymed with one another. And if you count up the syllables, he had 268 syllables, and 63 of those rhymed, giving him a 23.5%, which means 23.5% of the syllables that he used rhymed with another syllable in the first 1 minute and 5 seconds of this song. And then you go on over to Eminem's numbers, and he had 200 words in the first 1 minute and 5 seconds, and 147 of those 200 words rhymed with each other, giving him a 73.5% rhyme percentage, meaning that 73.5% of the words that he used actually rhymed with a different word in that whole little stanza right there. And when you break it down to syllables, he had 271 syllables in this section. 211 of those 271 syllables rhymed, giving him a 77.8%, again meaning 77.8% of the syllables that he used in this section rhymed with a different syllable in the exact same section. And what's even crazier is that Eminem continues this exact same rhyme scheme, like all these different things, throughout the entire song, not just this little section. Machine Gun Kelly does the exact same thing with his. He continues out certain rhyme schemes, but definitely not even close to the extent that Eminem does. So now that we have all of these major sections out of the way, I want to show you guys a couple more things that don't really matter that much, but they do sort of matter in the sake of the argument. So here we have Eminem's Kill Shot. It was uploaded on September 14th. It has 73 million views, 2.9 million likes, and 77 dislikes. So if you do the math on this, it gives you just over 18 million views per day, and the like to dislike ratio is a 37.66, meaning that every 37 likes that this video gets, he gets 1 dislike. Then you go on over to Machine Gun Kelly's Rap Devil. It was uploaded September 3rd, which was 15 days ago. It has 95.3 million views, 1.5 million likes, and 595,000 dislikes. So when you run the numbers on this, it gets roughly 6.3 million views per day, and the like to dislike ratio is a 2.5, meaning that every 2.5 likes that this video gets, it gets 1 dislike. So when you look at everything that we've looked at, it is a clear-cut winner that Eminem absolutely demolished. Not even like slightly won, absolutely destroyed Machine Gun Kelly on this. And if you want a further explanation and like an in-depth detail to these tracks to give you a better understanding of what I'm talking about here, I've made a couple videos on this. I've done an everything great about Kill Shot, I've done an everything great about Rap Devil, and I've also done an everything bad about Rap Devil. I'm not going to make an everything bad about Kill Shot because there's only about 10 things. He has a couple really bad flows, he has a couple childish disses, and 1 or 2 things that were just like really weird, but it was only going to be like a 1.5-minute video. There was nothing like even close comparable to the bad stuff that was in Rap Devil. But at the end of the day, this is all opinion related, I suppose, and if you feel like Eminem won this battle, then good for you. I agree with your opinion. You're entitled to it. If you think Machine Gun Kelly won this, again, you're entitled to your own opinion, but I feel the need to tell you that your opinion is wrong.